Hey guys, back at it again in the truck. Gonna go look at a project. It's a 69 Highboy. Seems to be an abandoned project. We're gonna go check it out. Comes with a lot of parts, and gonna pick through the parts and see what we find. And brought the truck and trailer, and I got my soft topper on the back because there's 3 engines with this deal. So if I make a deal, I want to be able to protect those engines. But it's a Colorado Springs, so I'm heading back to Colorado. I got a lot of miles to knock out, so we're gonna knock these miles out and check this truck out. So let's get after it. Hey guys, well I made it to Colorado Springs and I saw the truck and saw a boatload of parts that go with it. 3 engines, 2 transfer cases, all the parts, 2 grills, a bunch of doors, 2 fuel tanks, like a bunch of stuff goes with the truck. So we made a deal on it, bringing it home. I don't want to invade their privacy, so not going to film the truck, but we'll dig into everything once I get home, as always. So look to be back at the shop here in just a jiff, and we'll dig into this truck and show you everything that comes with it. Well guys, made it back to the shop finally after a quick trip to Colorado Springs, and I am loaded down. This is all parts. See all these boxes? I tried to put a lot of the new parts in here, and 2 engines. There's actually a short block buried up in there too. A lot of these metal parts here. This is the stone deflector, and those are some running boards, and there's 2 new fenders up there. And that stuff's all older production stuff, like early 2000s, so I'm hoping it's pretty good quality stuff. But the bunch of rubber parts and stuff in those boxes. But gotta get all that unloaded, and we'll dig through it. I haven't even got a chance to dig through it yet. But here's this truck. It's a 69 Highboy. Has a brand new worn bumper on it that was bought new in 04. It looks like it got hit right here, probably moving around the shop, but it's got a worn winch on it. It's pretty cool, 8274. That's like what I have on the Ultimate Highboy, except that's a old original one. Decent hood. There's a door underneath there too. It's got the big axle, the big hub axle. This truck is rust-free, which is pretty nice. The guy has done some sandblasting on it, a little bit of body work. Right here, he replaced this right here, and a couple tailgates, a whole bunch of other engine parts, transmissions. There's the MP 435 four-wheel drive transmission, and the bed of this thing is loaded down too. The plumb full of parts, totes full of parts, new parts, core support, fuel tanks. So I have a lot to dig into. Had some trouble getting it home. Not really trouble, but leaf spring here broke. It had been cut on some with a torch, and it broke and got into the bed there. And about had a bolt come out. None of these bolts were tight, so I had to stop and tighten up all the U-bolts and stuff, because the axle was going to come out from underneath it. But I made it home, I guess. So now I'm going to get this thing cleared off and get it off the trailer and put it in the shop, because it's got some bare metal on it, and if it dews overnight, it'll rust it off. So I want to get this thing unloaded right now and get it in the shop. And I got to dig in. I haven't even seen everything that I have, so I'm going to dig into what I have and I'll show you guys. So I'm going to get this stuff unloaded and then we'll dig into it. Well, guys, getting a little further along. Got the truck off the trailer and all the stuff that was in the Highboy out of the truck here. I still have to unload the bed of this truck over here, my dually. All that stuff's still in there, but got everything out of here. A lot of this stuff is kind of the old stuff I probably won't use, so that's why I got sitting over there. Got 2 fuel tanks, 2 tailgates, 2 sets of door panels. These are new inner fenders. That's a firewall pad. And here's a new core support, real nice looking piece. Here's all the drivetrain stuff, 2 Dana 24 transfer cases. This one I believe was supposed to be for parts. I don't really know if there's something wrong with it or if they got another one just to have spare parts. That one appears to be good. 3-speed transmission there. And this is the 435 new process transmission. That is the Highboy transmission. And this one has the mount here for the transfer case, and this one's a little bit different than the ones I'm familiar with. I have to do some looking and see when they changed them over. But I'm used to just having a big bolt right here, but maybe they changed them early. That's one thing. I was kind of expecting to have the big boss, and I didn't see that there, and I was kind of worried it wasn't a full drive transmission. But then I found the shifter in the bracket, and it bolts onto there. I might show you a little later on what I'm talking about, but they must have changed them halfway through the Highboy years, and I'm just wasn't up to speed on all that. So I don't know everything still. Still learning them. But here's the transmission, and it still has the stenciled part number on the side here, which is pretty cool. Usually that's all covered up with grease. I gotta steam clean this thing, make it, and see what the rest of it looks like. The drive shafts here, 3 drive shafts for the Highboy. Here's the shift linkage for the transfer case. Really nice to have all that stuff. Here's a better look at the truck. So you got the bed all cleaned out, cab all cleaned out here. One thing I was looking for, I hope I can find them. Of course, I have a ton of boxes to go through. He had a bunch of the small parts powder coated, and he had this one there. And this is the fuel tank hold down plate, as you know from my previous videos. If you've seen my other Highboy videos, I talk about this a lot because it's kind of frustrating when you're doing a Highboy build. But this is the 2-wheel drive one from the F100. This is the F100 cab, and he powder coated the ones from the F100 and not the Highboy ones over here. So I'm gonna have to do some digging. Hopefully they're in there. I have a lot of boxes to go through, but hopefully we can find the Highboy ones so we can have those. If not, we'll have to just bolt these down to hold the bottom of the fuel tank. But anyway, I'll do some more digging on that. I haven't even scratched the surface on it yet. Here's the old seat that's in here. As you can see, everything's sandblasted in here. The floors are pretty solid. There's a little bit of pitting there, but really they're not bad. He has done a lot of body work here. There's some patchwork there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this truck yet. I'm going to do some looking. I have a few ideas, but maybe by the end of this video I'll have a little better idea, and I'll kind of share with you my ideas anyway. Here's the look at the cab mounts. Real solid cab mounts, which is always good to see. The floor in the brace there is real good. He like painted the bottom in here in some kind of like spray-on bed liner stuff. Here's a better look at that bumper, that worn bumper, which is cool to see. I actually have the receipt for this. He bought it new in '04 and it was like $280, which is like, seems really cheap, but it's pretty light duty. It's not a real heavy duty bumper. So this part's a little heavier duty, but there's a bunch of brackets and stuff in there. Yeah, it has the big axle, which is nice. Really nice 8274 Warn winch. And over here we have, there's the transmission cover for the Highboy with the shifter hole. It's got some carpet glued on it. And this is the Highboy steering column. See, it's got the splined output right here instead of the rag joint style. It has a later model steering wheel on it, a 2-spoke, so I don't know what's going on there, if that was replaced at some point with another one. And a bunch of engine parts here, four cylinder heads. Some carburetors, air cleaners, all kinds of stuff. There's some pedal assemblies in there. There's some of the sandblasted, there's the engine pedestals, the shock mounts for the Highboy. Bunch of bolts in here, brake masters. Oh, this reminds me. Here's some of the steering linkages and stuff, but some of the power steering parts, like this right here. This is the dent side power steering for a Highboy. It has this Bendix arm that goes on from the Pitman arm to the drag link. It's basically the drag link goes. The steering box is right here, and there's an arm right here, and it goes from here to here, and it sends the signal to that ram right there. It's like a power assist, and it tells it which way to go, and that's kind of like, it tells it which way you're steering, and it sends the power steering to that ram there. So it's cool to have those pieces because they're kind of hard to find, and they're pretty expensive if you got to buy them. Like, you can get new ones, but the core charge is really high on that stuff. So that's cool to have. Not a real big fan of that setup just because it's big and has a bunch of hoses and kind of janky. I'd much rather have a power steering gearbox, but it's pretty cool because it's the original Highboy power steering. But I'm gonna get this stuff unloaded because it's like the majority of it, and get that stuff unloaded, and I'm gonna dig through a little bit and I'll show you the good pieces. Well, I got the engines unloaded. It wasn't too bad. A lot easier with the forklift than the engine hoist. We put those in with an engine hoist that just barely didn't pick it up high enough to get it in there, so we had to like pick it up and set it in those tires. But the forklift sure makes things a lot easier. Doing a little bit digging on these engines. This is the this is the engine that was in the half-ton parts truck that he got for the cab. He thinks it's a 390, but he wasn't sure, so we got to do a little bit of digging on it. See if I can figure out if it's a 390. One thing about the old FEs is there's no external markings that will tell you the difference between 360, 390, that kind of stuff. Like if it's 428, it'll have a scratch most of the time on the back here, an A scratch or a C scratch or something like that, unless it's an industrial block. But he thinks they're both a 390, so we'll have to do some checking. This is one that he was going to put in the Highboy. I didn't really pick up on what it came out of or where it came from, if it was or it came with the Highboy when he got it, but I think it's just some engine they sourced. You can do a little bit of research on the part number on the heads. See, this one is a D2TE. I don't know if you can see that. D2TE-AA. That would mean this is 72 and up heads. So this is probably a later truck engine. Hopefully it's a 390. It's got Durspark on it, so you know it's later. So this Durspark distributor, and it's got those the Ford part numbers. You can tell the year because D2 is 72, D6 would be 76, C8 would be 68. That's kind of how they do that. See right here, here's a C6, so this is a 66. The part number was made in 66. Doesn't necessarily mean the actual casting is from 66, but it's got a 4-barrel intake on it, which wouldn't have been an original unless it came off a car or something. But it's got a Edelbrock 4-barrel carb on it. This engine, which coming out of that 69 F100, it makes sense that it has C8 AE heads, which is pretty much, that's what all the bumps, a lot of the bump size it have, basically not 352s in 67, but 68. I'm not sure when they quit those, if they quit in 71. Not quite sure there, but most of the 360s and 390s that I've been across with the bump sides have C8 AE heads. So that's the heads that I originally put on the Ultimate Highboy and put the Cobra Jet valves in them. Just pretty standard. I got 4 more sets, or 2 sets, 4 heads of C8 AE heads. You can see that part number a little bit better on these. C8 AE-H. That's the pretty standard FE heads. Nothing special there. So didn't get any 428s or 427s, but a couple of 390s. That's not bad. You can use those rotating assemblies to wake up a 360, or just use these engines and something for a 390. So that's cool. Lots of good parts on these as well. They're usable. Here's a better look at all the parts I got in here. I got to unload. Here's some Go Fast parts. A Mallory billet distributor that they don't make anymore for an FE. I'll have to do some looking on that thing, do some research on that. But lots of parts. I'm gonna get the rest of this stuff unloaded, and then I'll start digging into it and see what we got. So let's get after it. Well guys, I've almost got the truck unloaded, and I just had to show you this. I haven't even gone through the rest of this stuff, but this box right here is why I did this deal. I didn't even realize this box was full of this stuff. You know, when we were loading this, it took us 4 hours to get everything loaded, and I wasn't going through, I wasn't going to go through every single box before I bought this. I just looked it over, decided it was a good deal, and made the deal. But I knew there was lots of new parts. Basically, I knew about this box, which is full of all the rubber things, and there's like window channel kits, door seals, cowl lacings, and there was like 2 of a lot of this stuff. So I don't know if he was planning on doing 2 trucks or he misordered and ordered 2 of stuff and it came with pairs. Like, there's stuff to do 2 trucks in here, which is good for me because I'm doing multiple restorations, so that helps me out. And then I found this box, and like a lot of this stuff I don't even know what it is. Like that look, I don't know what that's for. I'll have to look up the part number. And I mean, this body mount kits, if you know, those are stupid expensive with the core support mounts, door strikers. This is like hardware, I think. More rubber products. All the what do you call these, rubber plugs, little speed clips, bolts. This is for the hood, the little rubber hood locator deals that go on the hood. Bed bolts. Some more rubber stuff. That's the inner fender to the body, I think. All the plugs. And this was a surprise. This is a 67 door handle, which I can use on my 67, but that doesn't even go with this truck. So might have ordered this by mistake or had this for a different project or something, but that's a really nice piece. So I'm gonna put those on my Ultimate Highboy because those door handles are original and kind of all corroded. So I got a set of those. I didn't buy those because they're just kind of expensive and the ones I got work, but it's nice to have these and brand new outside door handles. You know, this stuff, when you're doing a restoration, this stuff really adds up. So having this stuff is a lot of value. And a lot of this stuff he had powder coated. This is all the powder coated stuff. And like the hood latch, there's a spring for the hood hinges, or he powder coated the hood hinges. These are for the cab mounts. Just all kinds of stuff. Here's that other cab mount. I haven't found the Highboy one of these yet, so I'm still hoping, but haven't found it yet. All this stuff, it's just fun to dig through because I don't know what I'm getting. You know, this is like Christmas for me because I'm opening all these boxes and finding all the stuff. But finally got the short block uncovered there. So I wasn't lying, there is a short block up there. Like I said, I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna have to do some looking on that thing. But I just had to show you that cool box while I had it all dug out because I was going through it. But I'm gonna finish going through all this stuff and then I'll show you guys the good bits. Well guys, I've been doing some digging through all this stuff. Thought I would show you some of the highlights. Here's a bunch of chrome trim that was the headliner trim and door seals and stuff. That's usable stuff. Have this Mallory performance ignition. I don't really know much about this kind of stuff, but there's a billet distributor, performance coil, and a controller, and some spark plug wires. So got the instructions and everything there too. I looked up the distributor and they don't make that anymore, so I don't know if it's outdated stuff or if, you know, I don't really know much about it. I got to do some more research about that stuff. In here we had some more engine parts, just some gasket kits, and there's a shifter for something, and just some push rods and just random engine parts. Some more engine stuff over here. This is just the heater controls and stuff, the heater box, headlight bezels, random stuff. I've already shown you some of this. This is well, I haven't looked through this box. There's the transfer case shifter boot in the little metal ring. That's nice to see. There's some power steering lines, a bunch of tailgate latches, dipstick tube, some other random stuff. What are these? The Highboy? Let's go check. These might be the Highboy motor or cab mount plates that hold the fuel tank down. Let's go check it over here and see. Be nice if it looks like they're a little corroded. Yeah, I think they are. Yeah. So we have the Highboy fuel tank deals, hold down bottom things. Looks like they're a little bit corroded there. Too bad. Too bad they don't look like those. They'd be real slick, but I'll have to clean these up and get these painted. And it's good we have that, because that makes mounting the cab a lot better when you're sucking down on that big plate. that outboard cab mount makes that a lot more solid. So continuing on here, have like 3 sets. No, we only have 5 wing windows, and some of them are tinted, so that's nice. We have the Sun-X tinted glass in there, some wiper regulators, washer bottle, lots of stuff. You've already seen all that stuff. In here I have like 4 gauge clusters, some other random parts. There's some speedometer cables down in there, heater controls, steering wheel pieces. Here's all those powder coated stuff. You've already seen all that. Door pieces, door innards, master cylinders, nothing's crazy there. Door hinges, heater core, motors. Oh yeah, that's just kind of random leftover stuff. Window regulators, some hood hinges. Remember what's in this stuff? This is like wiring stuff. Yeah, tail lights, and that's all wiring harness. And this is some random new parts, some gaskets and stuff, the glove box liners in there. But one cool thing we have is this Lund sun visor. It's part number 12114, which is for 67 to 72 trucks. It's new, never installed. I got the mount kit for it. This was made in 07, according to that. So he ordered it around that time. I didn't know they made them that late. I guess these are kind of hard to find. And I looked them up on eBay, and there's one on eBay for 800 bucks. So this style is not really my thing. It's kind of more of a later thing, 70s thing. These were real popular, and not really what I'm into. So I'm probably going to sell this, try to recoup some of the money I spent on all this stuff. So look for that being for sale here shortly. Got some windows in there in the rear glass. The rear glass is Sun-X, so that's nice to have, and a couple of Sun-X windows. So I don't know. Oh, I have one other thing to show you. They had the Marty report with this truck because they had to order a door tag for it. And the Marty report, it was ordered in Denver, sold in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, which is like a suburb of Denver. And see, it had tinted glass, so we have the original tinted glass from this truck, which is cool. One thing I thought was odd, it says Western mirrors without clearance light. And I didn't even know Western mirrors had clearance lights, but the mirrors that came with this trunk are the original West Coast mirrors. So that's a bummer, but it was a special paint truck. It's one of 1,252 with special paint, and one of only 74 with these paint and trim codes. So it's kind of rare in that aspect, although you know, I kind of mostly focus on the paint color versus paint and trim, because that gets, you're getting the onesies and twosies there. But full bath air cleaner, kind of another rare option. But let's see, Denver ordering district and special paint. It's a fleet order, and I was wondering what the special color was, because you can't see it anymore on the truck because it's sandblasted, obviously. And then some of the fuel tanks here, this was, he said this was the original color here. It's like mint green. And whenever I think mint green truck in Colorado, I think forestry service. So I thought, how cool would that be if this was an old forestry service truck? I don't know if there's any way I can prove it or look it up in any way, but that mint green is certainly a curiosity of mine. If this is a forestry service truck, it's a little lighter than what you see today, but I looked up some older pictures of some older trucks, and seems to be some kind of similar. I'll put up some pictures here and see what you guys think. So I don't know if I was going to restore this truck, and if it was a forestry service truck, I think it would be really cool to paint it back into that mint green for the forestry service, and maybe put a forestry service decal on the door. But then again, if you can't prove it, does that really help the value any? I don't really know. Or even if it is, does it help the value? I don't know. For me, I think it would just be a cool conversation piece to have with the truck. It might bring, you know, a little bit more just for the uniqueness of it. But then again, if you can't prove it, is it just a tribute, or I don't know. But I thought that was pretty cool. I'm gonna do some more looking on the paint colors, see if I can get like official paint colors, and see if I can match it. See if, you know, if it's exact match to the paint color they were using in '69, then maybe we might get somewhere on it. But for now, I just got to do some research on that, and I have to inventory all of this stuff, organize it, and put it away to where I can know where stuff is and get to it if I need it. Because there's a lot of extra stuff in this that's like for restoring 2 trucks. So I don't want to rebuy something for another truck, and then when I have one here in storage and I forget about it. So lots of stuff to go through. Gonna do it off camera because it's gonna get pretty boring. There's a couple of those fenders. I don't know if I showed you that, but there's just tons of stuff to go through here. So right now we're gonna end it here since we picked that thing up, got everything here, and kind of went through everything. Found some cool parts and did some cool digging on the history of this truck, and hopefully we found a old Forestry Service truck. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that's enough to call it a Forestry Service truck, or should I do some more digging? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.